Tweedle-dum-dum, 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 tweedle-dum-dum. There was a turtle by the name of Bert, and Bert the turtle was very alert. When danger threatened him, he never got hurt. He knew just what to do. He ducked and covered, ducked and covered.
He did what we all must learn to do. You
And you,
and you and you.
duck and cover.
Hello, South Africa, and welcome to Duck and Covered, episode 12. I'm your host, Grant, and my other co-hosts are Matt and Doug. Hi, guys.
Howdy.
And then we have a special guest with us all the way from America, from New York. That is Pete Scarmadella. How are you doing, Pete?
I'm good. How are you? Hi, everybody.
I'm good, thanks. Now, before we get into it, as usual, we'll give over to Doug. Give us the latest stats in South Africa and the world, Dougie.
Little local stats. Well, we've managed to get up to total cases of 1,340,000, but obviously only 940,000 of those are, 987,000 of those are active cases. So we're nearing 1 million active cases. In terms of the closed cases have been resolved, the numbers are ticking up, with 21% resolved cases being the unfortunate result being death, and 79% recovered. So that is ticking up. We must just keep an eye on those as they go through. In terms of the people involved today, we've got the USA, currently the world leaders in the number of cases, with 363,424 total cases, or 333,000 active cases. Total deaths in the US of 10,000, so they're getting up in the region of about Spain and Italy, with 1,148 deaths today. South Africa is somewhat different. We have 1,686 total cases, 1,579 active, with a total of 12 deaths, only one today. But that doesn't tell the whole story, because the interesting stat is total cases per million in the population. And the highest percentage of population, when you take in how many cases per million, isn't the Vatican City, which, funnily enough, Vatican City has 8,739 cases per million members of population. Of course, they only have 7 cases, so it doesn't really work out quite there. But if they were as big as the rest of us, they'd be the most infected. As for other news, it should be noted that a Pretoria man has been arrested. 23-year-old Pretoria man has been arrested for contravening the regulations of the Disaster Management Act by spreading a video of fake news in which he claims that some of the tests or some of the test packs may have been contaminated with COVID-19. This has, of course, resulted in people who have watched it refusing to be tested, which has caused a bit of a hassle, and that is why one of the reasons why he has been arrested. I mean, after all, spreading fake news here is concerning the criminal offense. Could spend some jail time. So once again, just encouraging people out there, check your sources, don't spread fake news.
And why haven't they arrested the Cheeto head who runs my country?
When you're the most powerful man in the world, you make the rules.
But you still can't get a good hair color.
Yeah, money.
That is it on this point for the news.
Okay.
One more thing. A man was arrested for trying to visit his girlfriend.
What was he trying to do?
Visit his girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
If love
I think you think you would plan for those things. Like,
I've seen this post on there was somebody who like wrote an open letter to the world, and I think she was writing from Italy, and she suggested like by the time you reach 2 weeks, you're going to be coordinating grocery shop visits just to see your loved ones.
True.
I think that's probably going to be the reality for us in the future. But yeah, otherwise, how's it been going there in the States, Pete? I know through our chats that we've had the last few weeks, you've been a bit ill yourself, but not necessarily with COVID.
Yes, it's like I have asthma that irritates me most during this season. This is like the spring here. And it's been that perfect mixture of damp and cold, and then it gets warm back and forth, that it's really hit me hard. So, and of course, everything with the virus has really made it an awkward situation.
Yeah.
I was lucky. They did send me home from work, or rather, I'm working from home now. And that's been since March 6th. So today is 1 month that I've been in my home.
Wow.
It's been a bit of an adventure. For the most part, it's been okay. It's such a weird sensation. It's like I'm used to getting up and, getting ready, driving into work, the norm. And to get up, stand up, pick up my laptop, sit back down on my bed and log in it's not the same thing.
Yeah.
I was saying to my wife last night, because last night was Sunday night, how weird it is on a Sunday night, because it would usually be like, okay, getting ready, gotta figure out what I need for the day tomorrow.
Which is clothes and
yeah. And then it's like, oh wait, no, I'm not going anywhere. I guess I'll just sit back down again.
Yeah.
There's so much extra
day at
time.
work.
Yeah.
There's so much extra time and nothing to do.
True.
Out of interest, Pete, where in New York are you based?
I live on Staten Island, which is one of the 5 boroughs of New York City. So I'm not dead center, but I'm just barely on the edge of the center of the most cases in the United States.
I understand that it has become the epicenter of the world.
Pretty much so, yes. The melting pot
guys...
has really melted in here. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
are you guys in lockdown?
We're not in lockdown. We are. We're practicing social distancing. They say every day on the TV and on the news, stay home, don't go out except for emergencies, or if you have to, to get food, things of that nature. But still, it's like I have a number of friends. You chat with people on different sites, and people are like, "Hey, I went to the park today, figuring it'd be empty, and I'd just be able to get a breath." And there were people playing games, and everyone's hanging out and making fun of it.
Yeah,
it's like, that we're the center of this all. It's not a smart thing, I think, what is it? Let me see. Right now, there's 131,000 cases active in New York City right now.
Wow.
In New York State, rather. So,
it's a third of the United States' cases.
Right. And literally about 1/10 of the world are in New York State. And people don't catch that. It's like, I've seen people having barbecues and, I have to get out a little bit. It's like, and I live in a residential neighborhood, so it's all, individual homes as opposed to having apartment buildings. And so, I've gone for a walk literally just around my block, and still you see people out, like, chatting and in little groups. And for families, fine, I don't mind. But when I see like people going and visiting others, it's a little disturbing.
Yeah, so like it goes against the whole spirit of social distancing is supposed to be.
It's like, I mean, people do seem nicer. They are, when you are around strangers, at least that I've seen for the most part, like, when I've had to go to the store, they do, distance, and people are very, very polite. No, oh, please go, give your space. Yeah. But it's weird when you see people that are completely just throwing in the face of it, as if it doesn't matter.
No, it's hectic. It's funny. I saw this this meme where it's like, America normally, it's like, what are you doing this weekend? I'm going to stay in and watch some Netflix. And it's like, America during the coronavirus pandemic, it is my God-given right to lick this public handrail.
Yes. There were some disgusting challenges that I've seen that there were two people that I saw. One was a young girl, one was a young man. Young lady was on a plane, and she decided to lick the toilet seat and to say, like, this is how I'm challenging Corona. And then a young man,
It's like
yes. And then a young man did it. He filmed it all. He had the camera set up in the bathroom, and it was in a public bathroom. He goes in, he waves to the camera, he goes, I'm not afraid of Corona. He licks a toilet seat. That was just, and you could see that it was like, this is a public bathroom. It's like, are you out of your mind?
Yeah.
But then he also ended up catching Corona, so he's in the hospital now on a ventilator.
Oh God!
Yeah.
Shit, I didn't mean to laugh.
No, but it's but the thing, it's like, if you look, I found it also on a news site. And it gives everybody's Twitter response, and people are like, they pulling up all these memes of people laughing, like how stupid he is, how ridiculous. It's hard to feel sorry for people that are just dumb and choose to be, and don't want to learn anything.
Yeah, they're just going out and getting sick on purpose.
I saw a great meme yesterday that went along the lines of they say you can't fix stupid. Turns out you can't quarantine it either.
No, that's true.
Yeah, I find it very interesting how we keep talking about memes this and memes that, how we're dealing with it. I in fact saw a meme that the year is 2080. The teacher has set an assignment. Discuss how people living in the year 2020 use memes as a form of social control to get through the panic of Corona. I mean, like, we are creating our own.
We're creating our own history, like, in image form and image.
Yeah.
Well,
that's also
like
the thing. Like
Egyptians, we put pictures on walls and we worship cats.
Oh God, what happened to the Egyptians?
But they built those nice pyramids.
Yeah, exactly. They have very nice houses.
It's great.
So it's always been, yes.
So I wanted to get back and ask you a question. You were talking about these people going out. I mean, now I've heard that some states have put down lockdown procedures. Where the government, like of Maine, for example, has suggested lockdown procedures, but the sheriff of Maine has refused to enforce them.
Exactly.
I'm not 100% sure how the American system works, but I was wondering how can a sheriff flat refuse to follow the law of his state? Surely that is, treason to his state, or he could be arrested for refusing to obey the law.
I would completely agree, but in Cheeto heads, anything can happen. It's like literally, you can say almost anything you want, get away with anything you want, and it's okay. Because the government itself denied the whole situation of Corona so long that now we're in this state that people, even I was reading something about Florida, and the governor was waiting for the federal government to give them direction as to what to do. It's like, oh, I'm not going to stop people from going to the beaches or doing anything until the government says. And then the next thing, the government says, oh, we're not responsible. The states have to take their own initiative.
Wow.
It's like the blind leading the stupid. You can't win.
Different country. I think that this the federal system you've got seems to be a lot of time together just to getting anything done. Do you think that?
No, very true.
That is the way people are treating it in New York. I mean, the news is going, be careful, be careful, be careful. But perhaps the lack of political leadership has resulted in people not taking it as seriously as they could have.
I think it's a combination. As we said about stupid people, they're going to do what they want anyway. People who have a little bit of brain in their head will actually say, "Hey, my life's in danger here. My family's life's in danger here." It's like, I don't personally, at least I haven't been in contact with anyone that I know has been out and about just doing anything they want. But they're, as I said, you can see it. It's, what are you supposed to do? It's like what am I going to call these? Hey, these people are having a party. Fine, the police will come and they'll break up, but it's not to the point of being illegal yet.
Yeah.
It's just, it's being said, it's like social distancing. It's like, no, you must keep separate. But if you keep disobeying the law, eventually you'll be arrested. But initially, people are just being told, break it up. You have to break it up. So that slowly but surely, the mayor has been closing different things. He had to close all of the playgrounds because parents were bringing their children to the playgrounds. It's, and children don't understand the concept at all. So they're going to be going and playing with anybody.
Yeah.
You think that'd be the first thing, parents would not bring them there.
Yeah.
But it's the curse of living in a city, where everything goes up, but there's not as much open space for everyone to be around.
Yeah, sure.
It's like, so you have a 70-story building, with 10 apartments on each floor. That's a lot of families.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those people, exactly. It's an advantage of a city and a disadvantage under these circumstances.
Yeah.
Normally the city is your playground. Now the city is like your
your prison.
Is your lock away. Is your prison.
Yeah.
You can see it but can't touch it.
Yeah.
It is amazing. Because I mean, there's a lot of news coming out of America, as there always is. But to watch the kind of difference between de Blasio's reaction and Cuomo's reaction, and then Trump's reaction to the whole thing, and it's kind of like getting it all from different levels
That's
entirely.
No, it's true. Very true. They're each saying, well, think about it. It's like the majority of New York State is very rural, very open,
right?
Open land. You come to New York City, it's 2 islands and 2. The area of New York City compared to the amount of people that are in New York City is ridiculous. So everything's getting higher in New York to accommodate everyone, but the space is not going to get any larger.
Yeah.
So
nobody wants to be further away from the
mayor
center.
saying, hey, exactly. So the mayor's saying one thing because he's right in the middle of it. He's saying, hey, we have to do this, and if I'm gonna put, say that we have to do things even worse than they are now. But the governor's like, okay, it's like, I have to look at a larger picture.
Right.
And then the president has to look at a larger picture, but that's a whole different.
And I hate to ask this, but I am completely curious. I saw a statement made by Trump a few days ago saying that he has hope, or that positive, but I mean, when I look at the graphs of the curves in this, the steepest infection seems to say at the moment. So I don't know, what's your opinion? Do things look like they're stabilizing? Or,
the news that I've
heard,
do you
feel?
At least the news for New York has said there were 131,000 cases. They're saying that they believe that it's reaching its plateau now.
Okay.
For New York State at least. We'll see in the next few days how that goes. They're going by a couple of days bit of information. But I think when I hear the things that the president's been saying, it disturbs me that it seems all politically based. It's when he finally does say something intelligible, it's because he said something stupid. They've gone off screen for a while, and then the next time they come back and have another conversation, oh, well, this is what I'm saying, and this is why it should be this way. And, I've always believed that the virus was going to be a big deal and we should pay attention to it.
Yeah.
No, you didn't. It's like, it's your own words come back to haunt you, and his words are coming back to haunt you.
And how are the hospitals?
The people are the ones that have to suffer.
Yeah. And how are the hospitals coping in New York?
I've heard different things. I work for a hospital, so I'm
okay.
I get an update every day, our scenario. But I've seen several things that were, contradictory. When I'm hearing it from my job, they're telling us about the number of cases that are in the hospital, what they're worried about the patients, and they've stopped. Patients can't have visitors unless they're unless they're terminal patients, and it's approaching the time when they may pass.
Yeah.
So they're limiting contact as much as possible. We don't have an emergency room either, so it's a little different than other facilities where you could have rushes of people coming in. I've heard from people that were working in emergency sites saying some of them that they're tremendously busy. that they're just people pouring in. It's like that they, you know, everyone wants to get tested. They're nervous, and
Yeah, I can imagine.
there have been lines. While in other places, I've actually seen video where they're you know, where these social reporters are going out and trying to contradict everything, where they're showing that, well, they showed this on TV as there was a giant line outside, and I'm here right now, and there's no line. So what's the truth?
Yeah.
Okay.
And because I've been in my house for a month, so
Yeah, you can't tell.
It's right. It's like I'm tempted to drive down just to see what's going on at the hospital. I mean, because as I said, I can still go out.
Yeah.
Just going out alone, it's like, you know, it gets to be a little old after a month.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
But what have you been doing to stay sane for this month? Like, you got any tips for us?
Oh, Grant, you know I'm not sane. You've known me. you know I crossed that a long time ago. I read a little bit. I play some video games. Watched a lot of TV. But it's all. My mind is in a weird state. It's like I'm not holding on to any of the information I'm going through. Like, I'm reading pages over and over again, or if I'm playing a game, I'm like, you know, there's. It's so even the experience. It's like this has been a month long, but the knowledge that it's a month is one thing, but the experience itself feels like it could have been yesterday, because it's just my mind has just been kind of blocking it out just to keep
it
from
blows
losing
all
my
into
edge.
one, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, we're already experiencing that a bit. It's like, what day is it? It's
Monday.
Wednesday.
Yeah. True.
It becomes a bit like when I'm on a show, and you're in that week where it's when you're taking into the theater, and then you come in and it's just basically like 80-hour days. Then I always say, like, it's all one day with naps in between.
Yeah.
That's kind of, I think, what this isolation kind of is.
That is what it feels like.
It's because the reality is the same every day. So essentially, does time have meaning, really? But does time ever have meaning on the grander scale?
Time and space are a lie.
Yeah. How heavy you are.
Oh, there's a lot of time right here.
But yeah, I guess we should probably start wrapping things up.
But before we do, that book recommendation. If we can get a book recommendation from you about what people should be reading during this,
well,
for us, lockdown, for you, social distancing.
I'm reading some old books that I never had the opportunity to go and read previously. I happen to like Neil Gaiman. And
nice.
Yes, very much so.
So I was going for like American Gods, and then following that up with Nancy Boys is part of that same series and same group.
Okay.
So,
and have you read Good Omens?
Yes, I did read Good Omens, and now I'd like to actually. I wanted to see the series. It's like, but it's the kind of, it's like, oh, you add it to your favorites list. Add it to your favorites list. My favorites list has thousands of things, but you always go to these old shows that you've seen like 400 times previously.
Yeah,
it's kind of silly.
Well, I think it's guaranteed to make you feel happy, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like the characters that are in it too. The actors.
The actors. Well, I'd say it's slightly different from the original version, from the book version, but worth a watch.
I enjoyed it, definitely. So
it's a good thing to start this evening.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
I have 6 hours.
Yeah, we'll be going straight to bed after this. But yeah. But Pete, thanks. It's been great.
Oh no, thank you.
Yeah,
and really thank you so much for
getting little.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you accommodating the time for me. I appreciate it because
I couldn't
stop during the day for work. So
No, it's all right. We had computer
all
games
good.
to play until late, so it's fun.
It's
I mean, we've also have nothing better to do. So
true. Yeah, that's right. It's like, hey, you're willing to talk to me? Hey, come on. Let's do this.
Exactly.
Connection.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, guys, but that's all from us for tonight, and
Yes,
we'll see you all tomorrow.
Absolutely. Pete,
Thanks for coming on,
Thank you
Pete.
very much.
Bye, everybody.
Wonderful week. Take care, guys.
bye-bye.
And Bert the turtle was very alert. When danger threatened him, he never got hurt. He knew just what to do. He ducked and covered, ducked and covered.
He did what we all must learn to do. You
And you,
and you and you.
duck and cover.
Be sure and remember what Bert the Turtle just did, friends, because every one of us must remember to do the same thing.